Welcome back, my wonderful Biafran peoples and lovers of freedom all over the world. May the peace of the Lord be with you all. May the face of the Lord shine upon you. My old subscribers, my new ones, and those who are watching without subscribing, you guys are amazing. I love you all. May God bless you and may God show you his mercy. Those who are watching without subscription, I am asking you for a favor. Please go ahead. Click the subscription button, click all, so that whenever your sister upload, you'll be able to get the notification, both the new videos and on the community tabs. It's just to keep you updated for us to preach this gospel. In each video we drop here, we give you the hints of what to expect inside the video. On this very particular video, you are going to hear the voice from BBC on our leader, mazi Nnamdi Kanu, suing Kenyan government, and another one is also suing the Nigerian government for 5 billion damages over his life, the properties and things since 2017. My brothers and sisters, I want you to keep praying for our leader, mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that he'll be able to come out from the dungeons of DSS and ESN, that the God will give them the grace to see the forehead of their Goliath.
You're listening to Focus on Africa on the BBC World Service. I'm Paul Bachwinger. To Kenya now, where a legal team acting for the leader of the Nigerian separatist movement, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, have filed a constitutional petition at the High Court in Nairobi. They want the Kenyan government held accountable for extraditing Mr. Kanu to Nigeria. The Kenyan government has denied involvement. The jailed IPOB leader is facing treason charges. Professor George Wajakoya is the lead lawyer. He told me more.
We filed a petition today against the Kenyan government and various actors in this case for the unconstitutional and unlawful removal, which denied our clients, which was engineered by the respondents through abduction, denial of fair administrative action, and in violation of human rights of Nnamdi Kanu.
Do you have evidence?
Yes, we do.
How long does the Kenyan government have to respond?
We are filed in court, we are serving the other respondents, and then from there we take on. It's not an issue of the Kenyan government responding, it's a judicial matter in court.
Indeed, but there are a number of days within which the government needs to respond or can respond.
Normally the court has set standards, and since we have gone to a constitutional court, once we file and we serve, then the court will give us a date, which will be within a very short time, because under the certificate of agency.
Certificate of agency meaning?
For the matter to be heard as soon as possible.
Oh, I get you. The Kenyan government has denied extraditing Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Have you got evidence about it?
Yes, we do. We have copies of his British passport. We have a stamp that indeed this gentleman was in Kenya. We also have evidence of his residence and apartment. We also have evidence that he was actually in Nairobi hospital on a particular day, treated by a doctor that we have his names. We also have evidence that on the material day, he went to the airport to meet a friend, and that's when he was arrested.
So you're arguing he was basically kidnapped?
Definitely he was kidnapped, yes.
Kanu is a British national. Why are you not filing the case in the United Kingdom?
First of all, that's a very good question. And that's why we are also wondering why the Kenyan government, based on the evidence that we have of his British passport, based also in the inquiries that we have made, that he renounced his Nigerian citizenship, why on earth would Kenyan government deport a British subject to Nigerian territory? That's what you want them to tell us.
Does Kenya have an extradition treaty with Nigeria?
They are members of our International Extradition Convention, yes, which Nigeria and Kenya are signatory.
So technically they could extradite him if there was a genuine reason?
Definitely, yes, but then extradition and rendition are two things. Extradition has to follow due process. You can't just pick up somebody and throw him in a plane. That's barbaric and it's forbidden. It's outlawed by international law, even by our own constitution.
Now, Mr. Kanu is already in Nigeria and facing charges of criminal conspiracy, intimidation, and membership of an illegal organization. Will this development affect his case, if at all?
If they're trying a Nigerian national, certainly. But if they're trying a British national, not at all. That's an abuse of due process for a Nigerian court to try a British citizen who has no connection with Nigeria.
Now, are you acting on behalf of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, or it's just your own volition?
have been given instructions by his family in London and his brother in Germany, of which you have affidavits here.
Are they in touch with him? How is he?
We didn't want to go to that direction because there are other lawyers in Nigeria who could answer that question best.
So how long do you think this matter might be resolved?
It's up to the courts to put up the dates, and it's up to the respondents to respond to what we have petitioned the court for. So that is an entirely a process that is within the judiciary, and we have no control over it.
Professor George Wajakoya speaking from Karen near Nairobi.
In chess, a sudden smart move can change the course of the game in favor of a disadvantaged opponent. In his ordeal with the federal government, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, is demanding an apology and 5 billion naira damages for violation of his fundamental human rights. Kanu, through his counsel, Aloy Ejimofo, also demands to be returned to Kenya, where he was arrested, and Britain, his country of abode, before the federal government would apply for his repatriation. Whoop. Julie, this is okay.
The
asking for damages, 5 billion naira in damages for violation of his fundamental human rights.
Yes, it's his right to make that demand, and it's not really about what just happened. It's about the invasion of his home in 2017. So he's saying that his rights were infringed on the day, and that the courts should now grant an order that the Nigerian government should apologize to him for the way he was treated, and that the way he also talked about the way he was brought to Nigeria from Kenya, though the Nigerian government has not told anyone where he was arrested. They are saying that he wants to be sent back ultimately to Great Britain, where he had been staying before he came to Kenya and got arrested. So, and he also wants the case against him discontinued. So he's trying to use this new case to discontinue the current one, you know, hinging everything on what happened back then, the infringement of his rights. I don't know what the lawyer, or the strategy of the lawyer, but it's within his right to go to court and ask for the Nigerian government to apologize to him, or the Nigerian government to pay him billions for the violation of his rights. It's up to the courts to determine whether that kind of case has merit or not.
He was granted bail in Nigeria, and somebody stood as shorty to him and everything, and in between he disappeared, and he was saying that they came to invade his house and they almost killed him, that he had to run for safety. So bringing him back now, the propriety of how he got to Nigeria is another thing. So what he's asking for now is another thing, to be returned to Britain. And if he's returned to Britain as a citizen, he will have his full rights and everything. So there can be a process of to expedite him.
Let me tell you, what is happening now is connected to what happened in 2017. If you follow the cases, it was then that the government proscribed IPOB and labeled them terrorist organization, and this thing was gazetted, if you remember at that time. Then the military operation in that part of the country. So he said, and it was clear at that time, that his life was in danger, and he fled for his life. And if you follow the last court appearance, the first court appearance that he had when he was brought back, you know, from whatever the federal government got him, we don't know yet. So he cited that he ran for his life, that he would have been killed if he had not, voted with his feet. Now, with what he's saying now, he's saying he suffered mental, psychological, emotional, and other, things through the arrest, through the incarceration, and all that. Lawyers always have their strategies, and this one may be a good one, it may not, but the beauty of it is that it's good that he's coming up with it, and it is true that the presidency will not decide this one. He himself, the lawyer, will not decide it. It is the courts, the judiciary, that has the final say on this. It's part of the beauty of democracy, believe me. Okay, to give us a clearer view, let's take you to a Lagos-based human rights lawyer, Nnamdi Kanu has raised a lot of puzzles here and is making 5 billion naira demand, and is also demanding to be taken back to Kenya, where he was arrested, and taken to Britain again, where he's based. He's a dual citizen. Anyway, can you shed light into what mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking for?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. The interesting part about this case is that it will offer the federal government an opportunity to come out clean on certain matters relating to Nnamdi Kanu that have been lingering since 2017. As you have rightly said, there is a subsisting charge against him pending at the Federal High Court. And while that case was pending, you are also aware that there was documented evidence that some form of...
Thank you for watching.